Hi, welcome to this month's broadcast of Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce Business Broadcast. I'm your host, Addis Ainsley, and in tonight's live broadcast, we will be talking with Robin Burdett, Blue Ridge Fudge Lady, also a finalist for Best Chocolatier in Virginia. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we want to talk to her tonight about the book, The Alligator Business Solution by Roy Austin. I think you found, we were talking just a couple minutes ago, you were talking about how impactful this book was on your business, but it was a little late coming. So one of the things you said you wish you had read the book prior to starting your business. Well, why did you say that?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know this about me. My first fudge shop didn't work out. It wasn't a good thing, and so I took a step back. And this book, I wish I'd have read it in the very beginning, because it talks about all the things that I really realized I needed to do after that, right? Mm-hmm. And so I should have done them before, but it talks about laying the foundation and creating your vision of what you want your business to be, mm-hmm. What values you want your business to adhere to, and really just laying the framework for a real business, kind of like an engineering approach almost. But
awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. So there were several takeaways we were talking about. What do you think some of the more significant takeaways were from this book for you?
So definitely for me, one of the biggest takeaways was to know your numbers, the accounting side of the piece. That was not one of my... that was not something that I did in the beginning. So I just kind of pushed that all over to my accountant. So in reality, I knew how to make fudge. I knew how to make it pretty, look pretty in a box. Mm-hmm. I even knew how to ship it most of the time. But I didn't know if I was making any money. And so really, if you don't know your numbers, it's hard to navigate to your end goal or your vision of what you have for your business. So that was one of the biggest takeaways. There are other takeaways. There's discussions on leadership and workforce in the book that were great takeaways for me, and something that I'm, striving for in the business. And then time management is one of the last chapters in the book, and wow, that's something as a small business owner, when you're invested into your business and you're working 80 plus hours a week, time management is so critical, right? So, I have a tendency to stray away and get distracted, and then so when you're not, time management is so critical so that you're not wasting your time. And so that was one of the major takeaways for me in the book. So I'm working on that one.
And all businesses should, for sure. So you talked about numbers, you talked about time management, you talked about leadership, some of the things you might have incorporated in your business. Is there anything else in the book that you might have, maybe already knew, but you went ahead and you've really implemented into your business as well? Oh,
yes, definitely. So I've read this book on a plane to Orlando, Florida, and it was in January of this year. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I got back, I know my employees thought I was crazy, because I was a process writing fool. And one of the things that the book talks about is repeatable processes, right? And so it makes so much sense. So your product is the same every time. The way you ship it's the same. The way you package it, it's the same. So that your customer knows what they're going to get when they come in there. And so I didn't have that before, and we were, I guess, kind of winging it a little bit. So anyway, I have been writing processes like crazy for the fudge shop, not just for the product, but for employees and things like that, so that everybody knows what to expect when they come into the fudge shop.
So consistency.
Consistency is so important.
Absolutely. All right. So if you're recommending this book, so you said you wish you would have read it earlier. You're recommending this to anybody out there right now. You need to read this book. Maybe they're looking to start a small business, or maybe they're looking to take their small business and make it a big business, or eventually go. What type of advice do you have regarding this book for them?
Well, one, read it first. Definitely read it first, because there were so many things in this book that I didn't even think about. You know what I mean? I think when you're starting a business, whatever it is, service oriented, or you probably know what you're doing in that regards, right? Mm-hmm. But there's so many things in this book that are critical to maintaining or sustaining a business for a long period of time that are so necessary. And it's so important to not only read this book and figure what those things out for you, but also to write them down, right? Because I go back to my notes all the time about how to sustain it and what my framework is, and I remind myself what my vision is all the time, because I do get sidetracked. So read the book first. I think it's critical for a small business. It's easy to read. It's so easy to read. And it was life-changing for me.
Awesome. Very good. So those of you out there wanting a world-renowned product, I think now it's world-traveled product.
That's right.
You want to follow the recipe from the cookbook she used. Go out there and get yourself the Alligator Business Solution by Roy Austin. Do you know where they can pick it up?
Yeah, so right now you can buy it on Amazon. You can just Google it or search for it on Amazon, Alligator Business Solution by Roy Austin. And pretty soon they'll be in the Fudge Shop. So you can come in the Fudge Shop and, kind of peruse the book and ask any questions. I'd love to tell you about the book.
Great. Awesome. So, Robin, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And definitely, if you guys have not tried the Blue Ridge Fudge Lady Fudge, go downtown. New River Valley's very own. So, and
right.
Like I said, world travel. So thank you for joining us tonight. Please feel free to send any additional questions from tonight's broadcast to info@pulaskichamber.info. Join us for the next business broadcast, Tuesday, May 1st at 6 p.m. We'll take a look at funding resources with special guests who will be talking about creative funding for breweries. So thank you very much. You guys have a good night, and thank you very much, Robin.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.